and man shall live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Sorry, Johnny, but I can't get with that. I like Johnny Mathis. He did some great stuff in his earlier years, sort of calypso type style. I like that. And he's got a great voice, of course, but the sentiment behind that song, and I can't remember its name right now, is utter nonsense. So, man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. So, Christmas Day, apparently, the original one, was about 2,000 years ago. So, there's a massive alarm bell, because history certainly isn't what we are told. And man shall live forevermore because of Christmas Day. So what happened before that? Did everybody who lived before that not live forevermore, or not go on to the afterlife that we are promised in our, most religions, but certainly in Christianity? Ask that one to your local priest, vicar, or man of the cloth. And then, of course, throughout history, throughout the last few 100 years, anyway, you can look round, your own area, probably, but certainly in the UK and in Europe, there are massive structures that are dedicated to, to Jesus, this entity that was fathomed, which was created by man's mind. Because for my money, it or he or whatever it is never existed. And I know that, so they say, the Rastafarians can trace back their homage, the Haile Selassie's homage to the to Jesus. Well, does that mean Jesus had children? There's no mention of that. And if not, then was it his brother or his sister or his uncle or in the same bloodline? But that doesn't mean anything, because Mary or Joseph or any of those people weren't granted any type of divinity. So it's just like, I can trace back my family tree, so what? It means nothing. So all religions that I can see are based on falsities, and that's why you have to have faith to believe in them. These structures that were built, the massive cathedrals to the smallest churches and chapels, were built in order to worship God or Jesus. Same thing, if you look into it. Jesus was God in human form. That's what the Christians believe, or they should do. If they don't know that, then what are you doing? I mean, I know Christians who have never hardly read the Bible. They've had passages told to them from the pulpit. And you can read any passage from a book and take it totally out of context, because you've got to read the whole thing for it to make sense. Now, the New Testament was just a control device, and it taught man, and that's a capital M, to be meek and turn the other cheek. Oh, don't put up a fight, don't test, don't cause a fuss. Just accept, acquiesce. Your lot is this, and good luck to you. But that's nonsense. That's bullshit. That's not the way the human psyche should work. If something's not right, stand up and exclaim the problem. And that's what the people who know we're not living on a spinning ball are doing. And we've been castigated. We have been, our lives aren't made easy because we can see the truth. We can see through the nonsense. And religion has lost its grip. And when I'm talking about religion, I'm talking about Christianity, etc. That is losing its grip. If you went back just 100 years, there were far more people who would actively worship God. I mean, going to their place of worship on a Sunday or whatever day they call you in. It's usually Sunday, but it could be Saturday, it could be Friday, it could be any day. So the structures that were built to there's a good point about that as well. Were these structures, like the giant cathedrals, were they there to inspire awe in the population and say, well, there must be something in it then, because look at this, look at the colourful windows, look at the beautiful designs of the architecture. The structures weren't just plain in most cases, until Methodism, of course, but usually they were resplendent in gold and coloured glass, which was a rare thing back then in those days. Lead roofs, which took a great deal to, mine the lead or make it into lead that's workable. Just to quarry the stone alone and to cut the blocks of stone to that precision and fine carvings would take an awful lot of man hours. But you get your place in heaven if you were a part of that. And the people who now believe in the spinning ball, generally, I'm speaking, generally, as I've said, they would not believe in God or Jesus, and they're quite right not to, but they also believe that we're not created, which, of course, we are. And they see the cathedrals and places of worship as a great deal of effort for very little reason. In fact, you could say that people were tricked either into building them for a place in heaven, or, like I said, to inspire people to believe. When they saw the massive structures, they must have thought, wow, there must be something in this, because nobody would go to that trouble without it being a fact. And so you could take that to the present day. The cathedrals many of them are in quite poor states of disrepair, and it costs an awful lot of money to maintain them. And lots of people think, well, why bother? Many churches have closed, have been converted into other things, dwellings, cafes, whatever. And that's because the numbers of people going to church on a Sunday is has been reduced massively. Instead, the new religion is scientism, where you're meant to believe that the sun is a constant nuclear explosion in a vacuum, which can't work. You're meant to believe that it's 93 million miles away, although they've got absolutely no way to measure it. You're meant to believe in the vacuum of space, which again is a scientific impossibility. That's why it's a religion. You have to believe in scientism. You have to have a leap of faith to get these things, to make them sit in your mind. As I did, I rejected Christianity before I was a teenager. I just couldn't see any sense in it. I knew they'd lied about Father Christmas, so why not lie about more or less everything? If I can't see it, if it's not a tangible thing, I can lay my hands on it, feel its texture, put a tape measure across it. What the hell is it? I don't know. I could never do that with Jesus or God. And the dwindling numbers of people going to the service on a Sunday would make me think, well, why doesn't everybody, if this is real, if this is true, everybody should go to church or chapel? But no. So, and the average age of the congregation in the chapel I went to was elderly, shall we say. And now the numbers are dwindled, I would say, over 50%, at least halved by since I went that's like 40 odd years ago now. But the new religion of scientism had been gathering momentum from the dwindling numbers of Christians, etc. And they tried to figure it by using common sense, as in, how could there be a Christian God who is an ever-loving, omnipotent? It doesn't work because of all the evil and just that classic case. I think it was in Spain or Portugal where there were a load of people worshipping, and the church collapsed and killed many people. Well, there you go. Would God actually do that? I would say no. The God I was taught to believe in wouldn't do that. So that more and more people became, if you like, signed up to the new religion of scientism. But on close inspection, that falls on its face as well, just like Christianity or any of the other religions where you worship a deity. So, Merry Christmas. I don't actually mean that. I want people to feel good, to be happy, and experience life. There's always going to be good and the bad, the happy and the sad moments in your life. But to need a crutch like Christianity, and I know it gives lots of people comfort, but it's false. It doesn't mean anything. We should get our strength from within and from the kindness of others, and that's really what this time of year is about for me now. Anyway, I hope I haven't bored the tits off you. I'm really into what I'm doing at the moment. It's a really lovely day out there. It's very sunny, even though I'm sort of inside. I'm inside outside, enjoying it very much. There's snow on the ground in patches this morning when I woke up. And it being the 16th of December. Anyway, see you soon, peeps.